Hi everyone, I'm Ivan, the founder of WIDEBED Vacation Renters. Now, thanks for watching and joining this webinars COVID-19. Now, I understand during this movement control, there's a lot of friends and owners spending your time at homes, whether work from homes or do browsing, checking, and learning from the social medias. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you some of the trend of a short-term rent and also how to maximizing your rental income. Right now, let's look at about the current market painful. Now we understand there's a lot of property owners and developer here. They have a huge stress of those unsold properties. Now look at this statistic and data that I get it from National Property Information Centers. You can see here the residential is about 5.6 million and incoming is about 456,000 and under the plan of 442,000. That's what in total talking about more than 6.5 million purely on residential properties. Whereas when we look at this Malaysia residential overhang up to 2019 Q3, there are about 31,000 of units. Now, based on these huge numbers of property that we can see, they are definitely in a stress for owners as well. So how to handle all these properties and also in problems of couldn't find tenant as well. Now, so on the other angle, we also look at the current tenant and travelers. So we understand in the current market, especially in the city centers, so these tenant and traveler they have a problem because of they can't afford to pay rent, especially in city center, which is rented pretty high. Now, at the same time, so we also understand that current tenant and travelers they are prefer looking for flexible and short-term contract. Now, so this is based on because of the young generation in city centers. They have uncertain of the working situation and study. That's why actually they couldn't commit for the long contract or yearly contract. So the demand of short terms on flexible contract are actually arising. Now the other end, so they also because of the budget constraint of this tenant and young generation today, so they prefer looking for the fully furnished property or moving condition because of they do not wish to spend more money to buy furniture. Now, based on this market painful that we understand the oversupply and at the same time of the huge demand of the tenant for short-term and flexible contract. So we can see the demand of short-term definitely is there. And the other angle we need to see also the current trend because of a rising young millennials demand and this era of new living, a rising of leisure needs. City people actually need quality feelings and distinctive leisure accommodation. So there's also article shows that the more people are looking to rent rather than buy. So from all this data that we can see, so current market, the young millennials tend to looking for rent and also for short-term rent. Now there's a huge opportunities here that we can see. Now the other angle, we also need to look at the current demographic data that from Malaysia up to 2018. Now you can see the red circle that I highlight. So between age of 15 to 34. So at 2020 to 2025, these 5 years, you can see there are about 10 millions of millennials and Generation Z. They are entering into workforce. So what does this mean? Now this figure telling us, so there are huge numbers talking about 10 million of this young generation. They're looking for a place. They need a place to rent. So you can see how big of these numbers and opportunities that we have in the markets. So with that, so you see we also can see some of the data that show here in Airbnb also telling us that Malaysia are the fastest growing country in Southeast Asia. So there are about more than 53,000 of listing in Malaysia. So it means that there are more than 53,000 of property posted into this Airbnb platform. So what does this figure tell us? It shows actually Airbnb home sharing entering into this matured or stable phase. So when we talk about the current trend, we also need to look at this very important topic, which is the regulation. Now, up to end of 2019, so Malaysia government has a working team, and we were proudly invited to Putrajaya end of last year to talk to this working team of governments how to regulate the short-term rent in Malaysia. So sooner or later, we believe it could be this year, and the regulation actually will be regulated. And we always definitely believe the moment this short-term rent or Airbnb short-term rent market has been regulated, so there will be another wave of booming in these short-term rents. And the other side, we also need to look at the tourism markets. Now you can see from here, Malaysia actually is the number 3 in terms of top most visited country. So we are after China 59 millions, Thailand 32 millions, and Malaysia is about 26 million. You can see in terms of tourism, we're still doing pretty well. So we're actually ahead of a lot of countries like Japan and Korea as well. Now, this also telling us the tourism market is still doing very strong in Malaysia. Now, so we talk about the market challenges, painful and opportunities. So what can we do as an owner to maximizing our rental income? Now, generally, I have listed about some of the way that we can do. One is Airbnb, which is daily rent. So the second method is actually doing monthly rent or co-living so concept. Now there's a three topic that we would like to share. However, during this session, I will talk focusing on the short-term or Airbnb topics. Now, for Airbnb, how do we start? So there's a generally at least out about 4 steps as a owners. Now, first thing you need to know to check about the suitability, whether my property suitable for short term. So next, then once you have checked, fine, my property is suitable for short term, need to make sure how to furnish up or staging on my property so that it fits for occupying. Next, then you started to do marketing. Then you're managing your daily check-in, check-out and cleanings. So generally there are 4 steps here that I list out and focusing for today, these four steps. Let's look at the step 1. What do you mean by checking the suitability? And it is very normal and basic, which as an owner you need to know. So about your location, whether your property is located into a location that are suitable for short term. Is there a demand? Is there a population there? Now, what type of population? Are they a young generation, elderly? Who are they? You need to look at all these anchor. Then you need to look at what are the nearby amenities and attractions. Now, always a short-term demand, definitely there are some attraction at nearby. Whether there's a tourist, short walking distance to a tourist hotspot, it could be colleges, universities, medical centers, shopping mall, expo event, etc. Now, these are these attraction amenities that it could be potentially can grab all these short-term rent markets. Number 3, building facility. Why it is important when it comes to short-term? So people looking for short-term rent, they also need facility as well. So example, parking, it could be swimming pool, gym, etc. So I'm sure today you and me, when we travel, we're looking for accommodation, we need a place that stay also come together with facilities so that we have a session that can enjoy the facilities. So next, definitely the most important is Airbnb friendly. Now, why say so? You need to check with your building management, JMB or MC. Make sure that it's allowing you to do short-term rent and Airbnb. So if your community building is residential based, so I'm sure that it is not suitable for short term. If your building management have a rule saying that it is not for short term, and my advice to you is that please don't do that, right? So once you have done about all these basic checks that you have the potential of location, attractions, facility basic is there, and you can do short-term rent. Now here we go. So we started for going into the step 2. Now step 2 basically is to how you furnish up your place and the basic decoration. So first thing first is to always make sure that you have a comfort bed and linens. And I will share to my friend is that just treat this like your own house. I'm sure that so you will be very much concerned about your comfortable bed. So imagine in the past when you travel, so you stayed at a hotel, so which couldn't sleep well the whole night because of the bed. So would you still go back to the same hotel? I'm sure you won't do that. So the same way, always make sure that you provide the comfortable bed and linens. Now, secondly, additional bed and mattress. Why? Because when people book for accommodation, especially in short-term Airbnb homestay, usually they come in a group of big numbers. It could be a group of family, 4 to 5, colleagues or business colleagues, where they need additional bed and mattress because of they do not wish to spend money to book 2 hotel rooms. So that's why it is important that you do provide additional bed mattress for them. So number three, fast internet. Today, now whether you are tourists, you are business travelers, so we all do need fast and stable internet. Make sure that you provide that. Number four, dinnerware utensil, which is on the kitchen set. Now, in short-term rent or Airbnb, people looking for this local experience and local cultures. That's where sometimes they will make a little coffee, a light breakfast, toast before they going out. So make sure that you provide that basics facility for them. So last, digital lock and energy saving. So why I put this into the list because of security and safety reason. So imagine you passing a metal key to your tenant and guests. What happened? So key lost. So I'm sure that you won't actually spend money to change your lock every time. That's why it is important that you invest to install a digital lock. Because most digital lock today they come with a password that have a time frame set. So that actually will giving you a problem, minimize your problem of in case your tenant don't pay rental, they check out late. So that actually solve all your problems of managing the key. Of course, as well as the energy saving. So invest a little thing on your energy saving and IoT that actually will help you to save your utility consumptions. Right. Now once you have set up your entire place, furniture and all the necessities, now here we go. So step three is to start for marketing. Now when it comes to marketing, we always start from first question, target markets. So what do you mean? You need to know, so your property located at this location, so who you need to target, your customers, your audience persona and avatar. So imagine if your property is located at city centers, it could be business travel, it could be business traveler, it could be tourists. Now, if your property is located close to colleges and university, you might need to target student, foreign students, students, parents, etc. You need to do some basic study so about who to target. So once you have finalized about your target market, then you do some research on your pricing. Now you need to know so what kind of room rate that you need to post to advertise. So you need to also to decide your daily, your weekly, your monthly as well as your weekday, weekend and holiday rate. Now how to do this? The basic method is to check on the nearby hotel. You can see based on the hotel and nearby how much they are selling, how is the occupancy. And at the same time, you also can leverage some of the tools like example A, D, and A. So there are others Airbnb hosts. So how much they are selling, what is the occupancy. So from there, then you can make a balance on pricing. Now once you have done this, so you started to make sure that take a nice photo, bright, so and also a catchy headline. So imagine if your apartment is 2 to 3 bedroom, huge living room, you might suitable for a family, so that you can consider to put a headline of family friendly, kids friendly, right? So in terms of content, so in your description advertisement, you need to make it simple in a point form to highlight. So example, you have washing machine, you have fridge, this and that. So once you have done this, so you started to post it to your online. Of course, the short-term rent platform, which is the famous of Airbnb, HomeAway, and also etc. Now, generally in short-term rent platform, so these fees are more cheapest, more lowest. And then you also can consider about tradition OTA, which is online travel agency platform, like Booking, Agoda, and Expedia. Now, usually OTA, they are charging more higher platform fees, ranging between 15 to 20%. Now, you also may consider social media because we are spending too much of time daily in browsing our Facebook and Instagram. So that's why it is a good platform for you to expose as well. Share your property, photos, everything into this Facebook and Instagram as well. So on top, you also can consider about email marketing to blast it out to your circles or network clients and friends. Then, as well as offline marketing. So you might consider for those corporate offices, events, universities, medical centers, you can distribute some of the information, flyers, leaflets, and to target this community as well. So in terms of marketing, there's always important is about response. So once you have done all these advertisements, people started to do inquiry. They're gonna PM you, ask you question in Airbnb. So response to all these inquiries is very important. And also make sure that you monitor and adjust the rate. And a good experienced Airbnb host or short-term rent, they always monitor their pricing daily to weekly to make sure their pricing always up to the market, not too high and not too low. So this will also make you maximizing your rental income as well. So at this stage, step 3, actually we have done all this marketing. So next, you started to handle all these daily check-in and check-out. So pre-check-in, so there's some request potentially my asking. It could be additional car parks and late check-in. Make sure all these requests noted so to arrange upon check-in. Now upon check-in, actually you need to also give a clear instruction. So to tell your prospect and guests so where they come in, how to go into car parks, where to parks, and some of the rules, examples, the opening operation hours of your facility, pool and gyms. So you make sure that so your guests being informed. So upon checkout, so ask for the feedback. Please don't scared for asking for feedback, although they might some have negative and complaint. With the complaint and the negative feedback actually make us to do improvement from future. So upon checkout, so then you handle your cleaning and laundries, right? So this is about the basics flow that tells you to managing the check-in and checkout. So on top of this step 4, so fourth step, so I also highlight so some of the important factors that affecting your income. Now first, response. Now in this short-term rent business, response is very important. Imagine when we're gonna ask question to the Airbnb host. So 1, 2, 3 hours there's no response. What do you do? So I'm sure you and me will what to do. So move to the next properties. So response is always important. Make sure that you respond as soon as possible. So secondly, friendliness. Now, friendliness is also an important factor that it affects our review and income. And as bear in mind, so we are not in the tradition hotel. So people book this because of they are very much actually concerned about sometimes on the personal touch. So that's why it is important that actually you do your best and a passion to serve every single client and tenant. If you know that your tenant are coming from overseas, it could be your first time arriving to your place. So make sure to give them some important tips, things to take notes, how to use Grab, where to buy, so grocery necessity, where are the pharmacies, and this kind of tips actually is very much important that actually you give your guests actually a friendliness helpful tips. So the next is about cleanliness. So I'm sure, no doubt, we always travel whenever we look at the review in all kind of platform. The cleanliness is the most important factors. So whenever you've done your cleaning, so I advise you to go spend some time, check. So make sure that it is up to the standard that you yourself can accept. Now, next is what? Comfort. Now, people looking for homestay because they preferably looking for a homely experience. That's why it is important that you do some little decor, like it could be bean bags, throw pillow, of wall frame, to make it very homely experience. Next is pricing, and definitely pricing is always important as a host to make sure that you will not sell too low or sell too high. As I said earlier, in terms of marketing side, you need to always adjust. So whenever occupancy has increased 50, 60, 70%, you might need to consider to adjust your pricing so that you can gain higher in terms of income, right? Um, Next, the last is wow factors. Now, what I mean by wow factors? To me, it is more about personal touch and how do you create that. So, wow factor, it could be a welcome message at the entrance. It could be a little snack or local made coffee, white coffee, so whatever's little junk food that you can provide. Imagine a guest check in late, they might actually find difficulty to find for restaurant and food. Now all these little thing actually it will give a bonus and it's a wow factors to me, right? So with this, I'm sure that give you ideas on being an owner. How do you start on your short-term and Airbnb business? So next we have some questions and answer, which we have got it from the submission. Now we try to squeeze it into three questions that we have shortlisted. Okay, let's look at the first question. Here we go. Now, Cherry has stopped traveling today. So, what else can we do in Airbnb? So, I'm sure people asking for this question, especially during this movement control. Well, you ask me personally during this period, we do receive a lot of inquiries and people looking for emergency place accommodation for a week or 2 weeks for a month. There's always, I believe, crisis also actually an opportunity, and try to look for all the potentials possible that platforms way actually to advertise to share your properties throughout any form. It could be from social media into your WhatsApp groups, your networking, your circles of friends. I'm sure they might have people around that looking for place, especially at this period. But in terms of long run, so I always advise to friends or hosts or owners who like to start on short-term Airbnb. And tourist market, tourism always have a seasonal. So do not purely too depending on the tourist market. You need to consider as well on others platform. Like I say in a marketing section earlier, you need to be more proactive actually to reach out as much as possible your potential tenant. So this is back to the question from the step one, your target market. The moment actually you have identified your target market, then you know where do you look for. So this is some of the tips that for you. Hopefully it answer you. Okay, our next question is I have a property with tenanted and my tenant requests to reduce rent. How much should I reduce? Well, definitely it is a question that from a lot of owners, especially property that with tenant. To me, I believe as a property owners, and you need to do discuss and communicate with your tenants. Tenant has definitely is to me it is very important people that serving and paying our renters, and without our tenant, so it will make ourselves in trouble because you're going to serve your bank mortgage. So make sure that you treat your tenant good, especially at the current market. Tenant is king, right? So I believe we can actually make a balance, talk to the tenants. Imagine if they have a huge financial problem during this period. It could have no income. So rather than actually chasing them out, so making losses between owners and tenants, so make a balance. So it could be adjust in between renters from 30 to 50%, right? So at least let's make the impact as minimum as possible between tenant and property owners. So this is my advice to property owners you can consider, right? So hope that answers your question. So next we look at the third question. My property currently is empty and I'm not sure you want to rent for long term or short term. And which one give me higher renters? Well, I think it is a good question, especially to many upcoming new properties. Now, I always actually share in my past previous sharing session in all the events. I'll talk to all the owners is that if your property able to find a long-term tenant, so please go for it. So at today market, as long as you can find a good prospect that can pay you not bad in terms of rental, so I will always say that please go ahead. Now, unless you couldn't rent out so for a long period, so after empty for so long, then you can probably consider for short term, so that you can make additional income, at least. So imagine you can make about additional 500, 1,000 via this short term. It help you to pay off your maintenance, service charges, and partial your mortgage as well. So this is my advice. If you can do that by yourself, why not? So you can post it to any platform, right? Like I shared earlier. So to start it, make some additional short-term income. Now, if you couldn't make it, so please look for a professional property management company. So they have a full team to help you handling from A to Z. So for regards your question whether which one give you highest, is definitely no one actually can assure you whether long or short term. But a lot of people might have a mis assumption that short term will give a higher rentals, but it's very much depending on location and properties, right? So with that, I hope it give you an answer, right? So I think we have up to this stage answered three questions. So before we come to the end, and so my advice to a lot of owners and friends here today is that the market is challenging, and we understand there's a lot of huge supply in terms of property into a market. So spend some time to think of your property, how do you maximize your rental income. To me, a property investment without a cash flow in terms of rental income, it gives us a big problems, and you need to seriously look into this part. If you couldn't find a long-term tenant, you need to consider short-term rent, right? If you can manage it by yourself, so that is good. If you couldn't make it, please look for a professional people that can help you to manage it. So WIDEBED started 2011. So what we do is we provide full services to help property owners, so handling A to Z, so in terms of marketing, operation, to maximize your rental income. If you're too interested to find out more about our services, please visit our website and register with us. Our team will contact you as soon as possible. Right. So with that, I hope today these short webinars give you some ideas, so some little knowledge how to maximize your rental income while you're short term. So stay tuned with us. We'll have more new webinars video to share to you in coming soon. Bye.